You have selected Shuffle.
Welcome to the ShufflePod. I'm Woody.
Hey, I am George.
And I'm DJ.
Oh, God. Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
I had to, I'm sorry.
Put that Nazi harp away.
It's gone. It's put away. In the box. In its cardboard box.
in its little cardboard resting place. The climate-controlled cardboard resting place for your harmonica.
So you know what, a couple days away, guys, from
Halloween.
All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
Yipper.
What are your kids going as?
me?
George,
Victims.
is your daughter? Your daughter's got to be into this. I mean, she's not too old for Halloween.
God, no. No, she's actually, she has a mini bat and mace, and she's going to take the city by storm. She's going to take her own candy from everybody. She doesn't want to go house to house anymore. She wants to basically survival of the fittest. Take her own.
That's right.
Just take it from the kids?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. She's going to target, like, teenagers that are older, too old to trick-or-treat. She's going to victimize them.
Nice.
What's yours doing, Woody?
The Lego Movie. He's one of the Lego Movie guys.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be pretty
Ninja,
awesome.
right?
Yeah. Well, he was going to be Lloyd the Ninja, but one of his buddies from school wants to be Lloyd, so he decided he was going to be like whoever the blue ninja is.
Ah,
So yeah.
cool. My daughter is going to be a cannibal, where she's going to
Nice.
dress as a banana and carry a banana.
I love that. That's fantastic.
That is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
And then
Did
my
she
son
come up
is-
with that on her own
Yeah.
real quick? Yeah. Yeah. That
As
was
far
all
as
her.
I know, unless she heard it somewhere. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's... And then my son is going to be that horse mask?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what he's getting, and then a tuxedo shirt.
If he, when he finishes that, maybe I could buy that off of him for $15 or something.
It was only...
Because I have one on my wish list. I have one on my wish list on Amazon.
They're only $10 on Amazon.
This one is 20, the one that I'm looking at. I
They're all
don't know
the
if it's
same.
got like real horse hair or something.
Yeah, they're all the same. Just some of them
so I can find the $10 one.
Yeah. We went to the one Halloween store, it was 20. We went to the Halloween store across the street, it was 30. And then I found it for 10. They're all exactly
Yeah, because I need something like... People always say I have a horse cock, so I need the face to go along with it.
I like that.
See, I thought you were gonna stuff it and like put it in bed with your daughter, and like the Godfather.
That was the most piss poor transition ever. I just referenced my penis, and then you said, I thought you were going to put it in bed with your daughter, which could be slightly inappropriate, Woody. I'm not going to lie to you.
A little bit.
Yeah, well, my mind wasn't there. I'm sorry. I just
Well, agree to disagree, right? When in Rome. No, I think my daughter is actually going to dress as a, what are those ventriloquist dummies she's going to dress as?
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, like a murderous ventriloquist dummy,
Of course.
Yeah. So,
You know what would have been good is if she'd have dressed as the performer and you'd have gone as the dummy. I mean, she's taller than you by now, right?
we're going to edit that part out.
She's got to be close, right?
She's relatively close, yes.
All joking aside, they're probably really close to eye at this point.
Let me tell you, she knows the costume that I'm going to buy, and she was like, are you getting the children's one? And I go, what? She goes, the kids one. Are you tall enough to see through the window in the chest of it? And I was like, are you effing kidding me? And then I started thinking, God, maybe I'm not.
Oh man, dude, my wife. We were trying to figure out costumes for us for the party that we're all going to, and so she hops on Pinterest and just horrible costumes. She's like, we could go as Nickelback. We could hot glue a bunch of nickels to a T-shirt, to the back of a T-shirt, and I'm like,
Oh, she's looking up like idioms.
yeah, and I'm like, no.
That's not a bad one.
That's actually a pretty good one.
No, that's horrible. Not only is it horrible, but like I don't want to go like something she found on Pinterest.
Yeah, I understand that.
You could go as Pinterest itself, Woody.
Just pin a bunch of stuff to a shirt. Yeah.
Post-it
Things that
notes.
you're interested in.
Yeah, things you're interested in, pin them to your shirt with a safety pin and Post-its. And God knows you've got Post-its down there.
Yes, I do. I have plenty of Post-its, but no.
Woody, did you get a haircut?
Yeah. Well, this was last Friday when I had those interviews.
Looking fresh.
You look very dapper.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm admiring you in the video feed here. I think you look dapper.
Speaking of those interviews, I got turned down for Pepsi, and I cannot understand why. The only thing I can put together is maybe I'm fat and over 40, and they think I can't move the cases around.
No, you probably went in with a can of Coke.
That too.
Do you really think that that's true? That like, because I've heard employees, like people that have said, "Oh, well, my uncle was working at Pepsi and he got in trouble for drinking Coke," and I'm like, "Come on, you can't tell me what to do when I'm not at work."
Oh, when you're not at work. I thought you meant at work. Like, they absolutely can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At work.
I bet you. I know now that since they didn't hire you, I'm glad you don't work there because I like Coke better than Pepsi.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what DJ thinks it's because they had a little.
I know why.
They had a little physical thing, and it's like take these 2 liters and put them on a pallet on like a dolly, like move them across the room, take them off the dolly, and put them on a display.
Okay, can I ask you a question, Woody?
Yeah, absolutely.
How many of those 2 liters did you drop?
I dropped 2 of them had slipped out of my hand
There you go.
while I was putting them up on the display. And, I mean, they didn't explode or anything, but they...
dropped 2.
I dropped 2 liters out of like 160-something 2 liters.
That's not good, though.
That's not a good ratio. Good ratio is 0. Dropping 0
Zero
the,
is the right number, yeah.
explosive
But you gotta-
carbonated pop.
You gotta figure, like, people doing this thing, like, it's timed. You have 15 minutes to do it. And, like, people are gonna be hurrying. They're gonna be a little bit, nervous. So I can't imagine I'm the only one that's ever dropped 2 liters.
No, you're absolutely not. But none of them worked there.
Right, and what you ought to do is you ought to see about suing them because of your left hand is kind of like that lobster claw. You know, your fingers are fused on the left hand.
I would. Sue 'em.
And, I mean, maybe they didn't hire you because you were lobster boy.
That, and there was the throw a football test.
Oh, God. They were like, hey, here at Pepsi, we like to show man activities. Mr. Woody, will you please throw this football? And he's like, fuck.
Oh, God.
Like, we have a Pepsi
football team that we play against Coke every year, and
Yeah.
so
We need a
I don't know.
quarterback.
That's that's not the one I wanted out of the two interviews I had. So I'm not like it just concerns me that for some reason they would turn me down with my record being what it is.
You're actually hoping you can transport the nitroglycerin.
Yeah. I gotta
Tabs.
take
That's
things of nitroglycerin, put them on a dolly, move them across the room, and put them on a display.
And
So
they're technically smaller, but they blow up and they will kill you if you
Yeah.
drop them. That's the added incentive. That the whole time he's just wheeling the dolly and sweat's just pouring off of him. He's, and they're like, Mr. Woody? He's like, don't talk to me! Don't talk to me!
You're fine with the other one. It has nothing to do with your record. It had to do with the fact that you dropped 2 liters.
Yeah, you really dropped the ball on that interview. Well, that's horrible. And were you wearing a Coke shirt? A Coke tie?
Something.
no.
You had Coke on your nose.
You had Coke on your... Yeah.
Tested positive for Coke. Something.
But the one that I really wanted, DJ was one of my references, so they called him. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, they did call, and they called another one of your references too, from what I understand, right?
They called all three of you guys. Yeah.
Oh, all 3? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't actually get a phone call.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, I can't justify delivering to the prison.
Oh, that is true. I had to say you delivered to my place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it had to be a professional reference.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
you
I
know.
have to say
Well,
you delivered to my place.
Technically,
delivered
you
to my
come
place,
see me
but-
every 90 days for life, and you're on my registration. But hey, I understand it's awkward. I mean, it was only one time, and you were drunk, supposedly. I've noticed this a lot. A lot of stuff like, I'm not included in.
No,
Like
honest to
text
God,
messages.
George, you were. I wrote you down on the or typed you out on the thing, and then I was like, I can't justify.
I can't. It was like on the friend list. Like it was, you had your A list, and you asked, and they were like, "Well, if this guy and this guy say no, I'll talk about maybe getting George on."
Why couldn't you justify delivering to a prison?
What would I?
They
What
get
would I bring?
food deliveries.
Saltpeter.
Exactly what you deliver.
No, I don't deliver food. I deliver like it would be mostly like ingredients and stuff. Like
And I would have been like, "Oh, you mean the guy that delivers the can fitted? It fucking kicks him down the hallway when he drops them." Yeah, I know him.
Not only could I not justify delivering to the prison, I couldn't justify George's job as someone that I would talk to at the prison when I deliver.
Yeah, that would have put a big hucklebuck on your career.
That would have.
Like, why do you talk to him?
Well, because I
can't really talk about it. I was a juvenile when it happened.
Because the judge says I have to talk to him.
I have to. He knows where I work. I tell him every 90 days. So, just here, look on this website. You'll see an updated picture of me every time.
I still work at my same place. Here's the address. I didn't move. Is that all? What all do they have to give you? Like they come in and they just touch base with you?
No, everything.
What's everything?
He's like a priest, like a Catholic priest.
House, job, cars, email addresses, passwords, everything.
Really?
Passwords? You're shitting.
Yeah. No, I'm not shitting you.
Wow.
Oh, that do you hear the confident sniff? Oh yeah, no, I'm not shitting you.
Yeah, but
They do that.
that's not really. They could have other email addresses. There's a million free things that they could just.
Sure, they could, but
They
the
do.
bottom line is they probably do. But like if we get an accusation for Facebook and stuff, we can monitor their Facebook and stuff like that.
Oh,
Wow.
Now, do they make up like names?
Turd Ferguson.
Absolutely. Yeah, but then we violate them for that then,
Okay.
and they go to prison.
He said that so serious. And they go to prison.
Oh, hold on, I'm sorry. And they just go to prison. There we go.
That's when you know George is serious.
And I'm not really. That's my job. I like to LARP though in my. I don't even know how to transition it.
See, I think Halloween, you blew the Halloween load a little early, because like LARPing is like the one day that these people get to dress up, like it's like Halloween every day for them,
Yeah.
Well, okay. For those that haven't already picked up on the subtleness, we are talking about LARPing, which is live action role playing. Okay. Okay, I'm going to admit something. I thought that I never LARPed really before, other than the one time I played Dungeons and Dragons. But then I started thinking, my God, I LARPed all the time when I was a kid.
Well, as a child,
Oh,
yeah.
that doesn't count.
Yeah.
No. I mean, not like, but I wasn't like, I'm a wizard fighting a dragon. I've got tree powers. No, but it was like, I think I started overthinking this. And if I did, stop me. And if you try to stop me, I'm going to prove you wrong. So here's what it is. Okay? Live action role playing is synonymous with, it's not just nerds in a park, okay? Fighting with pool noodles and stuff. It's actually, if you played sports as a kid, when you played backyard football, you always pretended you were, say, Barry Sanders, okay?
Oh,
as a running back and
Some
whatnot.
sweet moves.
If you did that stuff, that's kind of jock LARPing.
But no. The difference is, I don't consider anything under the age of like 14 LARPing.
Right. That's playing. It's just
Yeah.
children.
But DJ, didn't you, when you were back in Michigan, when you pretended to be Barry Sanders, you would go in blackface and stuff.
For one thing, I lived here at the time. Barry Sanders started his career when I lived in Ohio. But yes,
Actually,
I would do blackface here.
Yes, would you, which is racist as shit.
No, I would
but
never
no,
do
would you actually tell, before we get into it, I brought up Barry Sanders, and it got me thinking, will you tell you were a huge Barry Sanders fan, right?
Yeah.
Big enough fan that you bought his jersey, is that correct?
Yeah, I went to the Thanksgiving game 9 years in a row.
Will you quickly tell the story about the Barry Sanders jersey?
All right, he quit the National Football League in his prime.
We say he retired.
I was devastated. Looking back on it, he probably did the right thing because he can still walk and talk. But
Yeah.
Right.
I was devastated. And so I took my jersey to the local print shop that does like the high school jerseys and stuff and like, silk screen print T-shirts kind of stuff. And I had Sanders removed from the back and they wrote quitter on it. And then I wore it to the next 3 or 4 Lions Thanksgiving games, and I caught a lot of shit for it.
And did you wear it to his induction?
No, I didn't go to his induction, but I wanted to. I wanted to have him sign it, because if I would have folded it right, so he could have just signed the front, or just signed the number, then I could have hung it up with his signature, and I couldn't get to
You
it.
are a vindictive bastard.
I like
it's
him
the
again
French. It's the French in you. No, actually, him and like Christian Okoye, all the Tecmo Bowl,
Bo Jackson.
yeah,
QB
they
QB
like all
Browns.
retired, and they all have their scruples still.
Right.
So, but anyways, like LARPing, live action role playing, goes back way before. I saw a reference to it in the 1920s. It actually started, but for years and years prior to that, kids were always playing cowboys and Indians or cops and robbers and stuff. That's a loosely based live action
agree.
role playing. Okay,
Well, that was the first thing when you said when we did it as kids with sports. Well, I did it with cops and army stuff all the time too as kids.
Right, but it's almost the way like I look at like the term UFOs. If we're talking about UFOs, we're not talking about technically unidentified flying objects.
I'm talking
if we're talking
about
about
alien
UFOs.
spacecraft.
We're talking about aliens, yeah, spaceships and things like that. So
Sure.
when you're talking about LARPing, you're not talking about children pretending to be knights or cowboys or Indians or cops or robbers. We're talking about adults that have joined a group of like-minded adults that
Go into the
dress up.
woods.
Yeah, go into the woods, dress up as fictional characters, and beat each other with swords or throw tennis balls at each
Who
other.
would do that?
as he says with his Star Trek
holding my
shooters.
phaser.
Yeah.
And my tricorder.
See, here's the thing, Woody, and if you want to jump in anytime, just go ahead. I'm going to give like the brief history of LARPing, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. In my research, I found that that they openly admit that yes, technically it is many childhood games or simple LARPing, okay, but it's without the strict rules, the rules that the boundaries that they have to live by as far as Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that. That's what we're talking about today.
Right, where they have hit points and...
I just wanted to openly admit that I guess I LARPed a lot, because I never really thought I did, because I'm like, that's for nerds, But then, when I pretended to be Christian Okoye or Walter Payton or whatever, yes. So, anyways, basically, it came into prominence in the 1970s.
Christian Okoye, isn't that the guy from the Neverending Story?
He was the Nigerian nightmare, you son of a bitch.
Is it a boxer?
No, he's a football player.
Oh, okay.
He was a running back for the Chiefs.
I'm so glad Pepsi didn't hire you.
Oh, man. That was probably an interview question. Who's Christian?
It was. And he's like, he
That
sounds
guy
like
from Game of Thrones.
Sounds like he's an illegal immigrant. Yeah, speaking of that, you don't have illegal immigrants working your warehouse, do you? So, anyways, excuse me. There's actually Dungeons and Dragons was basically the big game that translated from a tabletop game to they took it to the woods and stuff. All right,
Right.
And there are so many other games that are played, basically it's turned into like a lifestyle. There are people that make a living making armor now for LARPers and weapons and stuff like this. I had no idea. It's like a complete
What do they make the weapons out of? Is it costume weapons as far as like for decoration, or are they making them out of foam because they're hitting?
There's two different types, I guess. There's latex ones that they're a little bit stiffer, but they look really a whole lot more realistic.
Those are the kind.
Then there's ones that they make out of foam and duct tape. Where they're exaggerated, but you can wail on somebody with it and it's not going to hurt them.
But then, Woody, there's also for the medieval LARPers that actually joust and stuff. They actually make the actual armor and the armor plates and all that stuff and the jousting poles.
A lot of
actually, they're like regular swords. They just don't sharpen them up.
Well, when Woody and I went to that convention that we talked about, I don't know, it was a few months ago at this point, there was a couple stands that actually made the chainmail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually, they make it so you don't actually get stabbed. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Wow.
I mean, I guess like each depends on like how far they want to go. Like there are groups out there that are using like full suits of armor. But most of the time, it's made out of leather or something a little bit more, movable. So because you got to figure they're going to be running around, swinging swords and stuff that you're going to have a hard time if you're fully encased in armor.
Yeah. How about like the war reenactors, Civil War?
Well, see, that's what I was going to get into too. Also, like historical reenactments, basically, at their purest form, is a role-playing game. Yeah. You have a predetermined winner and loser.
That's the thing right there. Is you have a predetermined one. If you're that you're gonna go through this field and halfway through you're gonna lay down like you were shot. Whereas like in LARPing and stuff, it's like you've got 6 hit points. Someone hits you in the arm, you can't use that arm, and you're down to 5 hit points. Then you gotta get hit 5 more times before you go down, and it's not predetermined as who's gonna win or lose. I guess that would be the big difference between like a historical reenactment and LARPing.
I don't think Woody did research. I think he just knows this.
I tell you honest, like I know it's. See, okay, if they wouldn't take it as seriously as they do, I would love to try it. I would love to just like have fun beating somebody with a foam sword.
Did you say that to Pepsi?
No, no. Okay. But the big problem I have with these groups is they go out and like from the time that they get there until the time they leave, they are in character.
Mm-hmm. Which is
that annoys the hell out of me.
That's honest. Well, it's like I'm gonna say this in the most respectful way that I can without pissing off half of our fan base.
Yeah, because they probably are some LARPers.
Well, there are some LARPers. For a fact, I know. There's people in my family on Jamie's side that are really into this, okay? But the big thing is, just like I'm visibly uncomfortable with overly religious people that openly tell me about Jesus all the time, okay? LARPers give me the same uncomfortableness when they're still kind of in character when they're out of character. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like it's become part of their self, okay? And I don't know, that to me there's like a level of uncomfortableness. Like I would love to go out and if LARPing could be like paintball, okay? Or something, that would be pretty badass. Like if we were if we were like Halo LARPers or something like that, which I mean, I was very attracted to the Avatar LARPers that you
Oh my God, that was
me.
the funniest thing I've ever seen on YouTube.
And that was fake, right?
Yes.
It had to be.
It was a parody.
Oh,
okay.
That was a parody?
Yeah. It was like...
No, I think those people are real. I think those people really do that.
They do, but that was a parody.
I think the black guy was clearly being a parody.
Yes.
Character.
After I looked at it, I Googled it, and like every single site that it was on said, "This, of course, is a parody." That's what they said.
Damn.
Okay.
Because it was the funniest thing ever.
Now I will tell you.
Megalodon.
Megalodon thing. It's like you got fooled with Megalodon.
You simple son of a bitch. He just buys into it hook, line, and sinker.
I wanted that to be so true. Like
The real ones
that
aren't far
autistic
off.
kid. Yeah, the autistic kid. Vice did that LARPing Saved My Life documentary.
I have like so many like that. If you watch that documentary, it's like a roller coaster because it's like it's a place where that child can go and feel accepted, and he has he honestly has a chemical disorder in him that makes him antisocial and hard to
and it's great for him.
It absolutely is. But when they were interviewing his parents, the mother's
bastard.
talking, and the look in the father's eyes, he's got that 1,000-mile stare, and he just like he looks like he's just like, just shoot me, just
he's like
me.
You know, like, because when I was watching it, I was like, man, this guy is he's really uncomfortable with it. He wanted his kid to be Wade Boggs.
Yeah.
And you know, now he's Gandalf, you know? And,
Right.
But, okay, as far as, let's kind of bring up the benefits of LARPing for people is, obviously this kid has antisocial anxieties and he was autistic and Asperger's and stuff like that, which is fantastic. And I think it gives a lot of other kids that would
It's not
generally
fantastic that he has autism and Asperger's. It's fantastic that he has a place that accepts him.
correct. I didn't mean like
Glad you clarified that.
I mean I'm like that lucky bastard, you know.
He can
and
tell you. He
basically-
can tell you how many toothpicks are on the ground when they spill out of a case. Wasn't that Dustin Hoffman and
Yeah.
Rain Man? Yeah.
That was Rain Man. Yeah. Which Rain Man might have been a LARPer also. But yeah, I think like to have an outlet like that to where you feel accepted and everything, and because there are like a number of like-minded people, that's fantastic. I'm not going to argue the merits of and the benefits of that aspect of LARPing. My biggest problem with a lot of LARPers is the reaches that they go to actually be in character. It makes me very uncomfortable. And like if I see LARPers at the park, I like kind of avoid them. One, because I don't want to enter their battle. And with my well, yeah, because I've been practicing my sword skills, and you know, I'd be like, I'm a Wiccan with tree power, you know, and stuff, and I don't know. I mean,
you don't put foam around your machete. You go full bore. Just,
right?
Foam around a machete? What? I mean, that's absurd.
Yeah, I would join like a LARP troop if we could really honestly hack that. Just piss out of people with our Harbor Freight machetes. By the way, Woody, did you end up getting a?
I honestly no. I gotta say, I haven't had a chance to go there yet. I know I'm putting myself in danger in the truck every day not having one.
Well, that's all the time we have today.
Yeah.
Maybe the machete is more of a Dick Bullets thing.
I'm beginning to think.
No. The machete is more of a way of life than. I mean, Dick Bullets is a way of life, but I don't know. You know what? Let's just edit this part out because
when you were talking about the uncomfortable stuff with LARPing, I got a little bit of a story, like an annoyance kind of story, and it wasn't even really from LARPing, but it sort of was. Halloween party a few years ago, there was a guy, and I hope he's not a listener because I don't want to offend him, but he went as Freud, Sigmund Freud, and it was a great costume, and he went in character. He had the pipe in his hand, and the whole night, you know, he would talk like that. But he didn't stop.
Yeah.
The entire time. Do you remember that, Woody? You were both there.
Yeah, I remember that. And yeah, you're right. That's what gets me is like, yeah, I would love to run through a field and smack somebody with a foam sword, you know, but I don't want them going... You know, when I pull out my cell phone to see if my wife called me, I don't want him going, "Whoa, you wizard! What is this? You know, what is this magic?"
He's from the future.
Sorcerer!
Right.
I told you, Morgatron, that he's from the future. Yeah.
It's annoying when they don't break character.
Yeah.
Yes. Or when they bow to you, you know, or they like kiss your wife's hand. Very good to meet you, fair maiden. I'm like, no, I'm not that comfortable. You know,
Right.
You want to swing with us, we have to at least have a couple drinks.
Yeah, you gotta put the
it's
kids in the
one of
bowl
those.
if you want to swing.
I don't know. Woody, what's your what would your ideal LARPing scenario be? What would you do if you were into LARPing? What kind?
You know what? I was thinking about this. I like that whole fantasy. I'd want the big sword and shield and just to maybe almost like a Viking kind of character.
You would be a Viking.
Yeah.
What about you, DJ?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, it would be Star
Probably
Trek.
Star Trek.
I would say mine would have to be like a Halo.
That would
Like
be
if they
fun.
had like a Halo LARPing troop.
They
I
say
mean-
that if they have it. If you there's I was watching one thing today. It was LARPing versus airsoft, and they were in this big warehouse with all these little buildings kind of made up and stuff. And it was two guys had airsoft guns. The rest of them had swords and bows and arrows with big foam ends to them. And so it was 10 on 2, but the two guys were the ones with the airsoft guns, and they'd have to find them and take them down. It was pretty
That'd be
cool.
kinda
And they won every time.
Well, yeah, I mean, evidence of the fact that's how we destroyed the Indians. We had the guns. they
No,
had
that's
bows
what I'm
and
saying
arrows.
is the guys with
We
the
had
guns.
the airsoft guns and the blankets with smallpox.
The guys with the guns,
Yeah.
they had to last 10 minutes. And
Did you just say blankets with smallpox?
I did.
Damn, that's definitely worth another mention because that is some hardcore history right there.
Well, that's the truth.
And
but,
we gave them booze.
the guys with the guns lost every time. They could only last 3 or 4 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, because the guys with the bows and the arrows and the swords, they could come back if they were shot. They just have to run over, touch a wall, and then they were back to life.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, okay.
So
'cause-
it was
so it wasn't like a real life scenario.
right. It was supposed to be a mob against 2 people, and they only
There
the
was
mob
only
had
10 of them.
right,
So
right.
in order to simulate 100, they got 10 lives.
Yeah. that
Okay,
kind of
I
thing.
see. Okay. Well, I would definitely do a Halo, with the guns and stuff, or a Star Wars if it was not even so much the Jedi ones, because I'm really into the Stormtroopers a lot and stuff. I would go
The Jedi
I would
ones,
go the Clone Wars era.
right.
type
How
thing.
would you role play that magic? Moving things. So. I mean, I can
Yeah.
understand lightning bolt and they throw a tennis ball at a guy or whatever, but
Fireball!
yeah, exactly.
Hayuken. That's straight from Street Fighter. I think it's Hayuken. Yeah, I would do that. That would be badass. Or I would love to get in a paintball, an actual
Yeah.
Like a
big, huge paintball war.
I mean, it's kind of like when we were doing the laser tag for my son's birthday. That was a blast. I had a
Dude, that was
great
so
time with
much
that.
fun. So much fun. Hell of a workout too
Oh,
because
yeah.
I was sweating
I was
like
too. My
crazy.
underwear was wet. I also peed
Yeah.
myself.
Well, and that's because I was gonna say you were having a lot of kidney trouble at that point. Huge thumb-sized penis hole, just dumping urine everywhere. The slightest amount just fell out. He has no bladder control at all.
I got a couple
You know,
LARPing questions.
It depends. Okay, go ahead.
And
That was a diaper joke.
he said depends. Oh my god, I just got it. Well, speaking of depends, I have to always edit Woody's crinkling out in his chair. You can always hear his adult diaper moving back and forth.
It's not. He doesn't wear adult diapers per se. It's the actual the wet pad that you would put over your kid's diaper.
Oh,
He's
okay.
into that. He's into that plastic underwear thing. It's a real effed up fetish, but it is what it is.
I wish I could wear adult diapers, man. I have to pee so often.
It's not a bad dream, man.
I know a couple guys that when they would go to football games, like Browns games, they would wear adult diapers so they wouldn't have to get up in the middle of the game.
A friend of ours, and he knows who he is, pissed in a cup about 5 times at the Browns game. We all
Yeah,
know
and it
who
would just
is.
dump it. He would dump it on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh.
So adult
Now,
diaper
I
would
would
probably
do-
be an improvement.
I would do the Texas catheter, which is just
Yeah.
a catheter that goes over your head, and you could just run the tube out by your boot. I would do that all day. I would do that sitting here doing this podcast because I have to piss right now.
Yes, I
would just
quote unquote would do that. As if
I
I'm
would.
not doing
I would
it right
put
now.
I would put like a trough underneath my feet and just run the hose in there, and then I would. That's what you have kids for.
True.
I'd be like, "Hey, kid, dump this urine trough out," you know?
All right, my LARPing questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Is this a very loose form of LARPing? Stuff like, I know you're not pretending you're the person, but you're living through them, like fantasy football.
No, because I guess live action role playing would be like, it's more like Dungeons and Dragons, but like when you're actually doing stuff. Like if you're fantasy football, you're not running
just
down the
tracking
field.
numbers.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
exactly
all right.
it.
And the other one is, and they're not going to be happy with this, but I don't care. I think people like the extreme right-wing militias, I think they're playing army.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Ooh.
I'm
I'm gonna gracefully bow out of this one.
No, I
But
mean
you don't
think
think
about
I'm right though? They get in
they're-
their little club, and they've got a president and all that, which is like a general, and they do like fake simulations of people invading their thing, and you know.
Yeah.
Isn't
Actually,
the same
that-
thing?
You're like, wow, you might be onto something because yes, but they'll probably end up shooting you for insinuating that it's LARPing. So I'm going to say nope, not even close. Basically, that's just doomsday prepping, son. That's
Well, doomsday prepping is also
which I'm going to be honest with you, I am obsessed with guns right now.
really.
Dude, I love them. I love them. I want to buy so many guns right now. That's all I do is I just watch YouTube videos of guns now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
George has snapped.
yeah,
It's basically, I'm going to end up being the guy on The Sopranos. Like, the only way I can get off is with a gun, you know, in my hand. So,
Forgot about it.
was that Richie, right? Was that Richie?
I think so.
I actually borrowed my dad's pellet rifle because I'm going to take the boy out shooting some targets today.
Nice.
Yeah, and my
Nice.
wife was like, I just don't like having that in the house. And I'm like, for one, he doesn't know how to load it. It's not loaded. He won't. He can't even break the barrel to cock it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Those spring-loaded pellet ones. I've got one. There's no way a kid his age could even cock it.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Even if
Way
he
too
if he figured out how to do it, he couldn't do it. You know, physically, he's just not strong enough to do it.
Because he's not man enough.
You
He
have
ain't
to
man
bend the
enough.
barrel, and it's hard to do. Those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
At least mine is. Mine's really. I'm
Do you
also
remember
very
though?
weak.
You remember the older ones where you had to pump
Those
the
are the
actual
BB guns.
that
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is one.
We'd
crack.
have those.
One crack.
We
of
would
the
do
barrel,
those
it
wars.
activates a spring. It cocks it back. But you break the barrel, and there's sometimes if you're shooting it a whole bunch, you have to use your one leg as like leverage to cock it down because it's that hard to do. So
I remember quick BB gun story here. My brother and I were walking the railroad tracks when we were younger, and I heard ting off the railroad track.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I hear ting, and then I feel something hit me in the left ass cheek. And I turn around, and there's this guy. He owned the carnivals. His dad owned the carnival ride places. Okay?
so right over across the street from you there, where they always park the rides. is where
Yeah,
they were-
so you know what I'm talking about. He had a 44 Magnum pellet gun, okay? And he had I think an 8-shot or whatever, and he was out of shots. So I ran at him,
Hell yeah.
and he was trying to load his pellet gun, and I remember punching him and dragging him over to the trestle, the railroad trestle, and throwing him off the trestle into the water.
Oh, jeez.
And all this stuff. It was like one of the greatest moments of my life.
Is that gun your gun now?
No, it's I threw it at him while he was in the water. And then basically my brother and I continued to walk. It was like we were like the Black Donnellys at that point, you know? I mean, it was very, very impressive. Yeah, so
Was he
he couldn't get his
grown man?
He's my age, like a year. He's right in between my brother and me, I guess. But he was like wearing a trench coat, and he had like a derby hat on, and he was with one of his friends. His other friend just yelled at us on the railroad tracks. He didn't jump in.
Of course, he knew better.
While this kid was just getting just a complete dick beat out of him, and then we threw him off the bridge, and he fell into the water, and it was a humiliating factor for him. So that was awesome. So don't shoot people with pellet guns if you don't want your ass beat. Basically,
or get one that holds more than 8 shots.
Introduced him to thunder and lightning, or carry 2 of them. Because
right.
God, if he'd have shot me like in the nipple with that thing, I'd have probably been like, ah! And my nipple would constantly be hard now because it would have a pellet stuck in it. Yeah. But, that was, we used to do the BB gun wars where it was like 2 pump max.
Yeah.
My cousin
and,
did a lot
that kind of thing.
in the woods when he was growing up. I never did it.
Yeah, we did that in soup can fights.
See, we did bottle rockets.
Oh, yes. Yeah, bottle rockets were awesome, too.
Yeah, shoot bottle rockets or Roman candles at each other.
Yeah, we threw encyclopedia books. We would go into the
throw
shed.
books.
No, I'm dead serious. I have no idea why we would. Well, we were all stupid. We would go into the shed.
Oh, I got a new book.
It was dark. Yeah, it was like, you gonna read it? And they were like, "Fuck you, nerd!" But we would throw like soup cans at each other, and
oh my God.
And like these books, and it was like these horrible. But the thing was, you couldn't hit anybody in the face. And then I remember getting hit in the crotch with a crab apple during a crab apple fight.
I've had a couple crab apple fights.
Oh my God, that is the worst pain. No, I take it back. Worst dick pain I've ever had was, you remember those little Hutch footballs, the rubber ones?
Yep.
They had the real hard tip. I remember running a pass route, and I turned to catch, and it hit me in the left testicle.
Oh.
And it actually bruised my testicle.
Oh.
I threw up in the street. I got carried home. My mom had to give me like frozen vegetables to put on it, and it was bad.
JD caught me in the right in the tip with a hockey puck, a plastic hockey puck, and that was the most pain I've had until my whole stent situation.
Yeah, and so he got you right in the
tip.
Boom. In the twig.
Yeah.
I remember, you remember the, speaking of tips, you remember the game, like, hey man, what's capital of Thailand? You'd be like, Bangkok. And they'd smack you in the dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember I was free balling, because I had these dickies that I would wear, and I don't know why. Don't ask. I was a filthy, filthy teenager. Yeah. And I was free balling, and he smacked me in the dick, and it burnt the tip of my penis because it flew down the denim. It was like, and it just denim burned the head of my wiener, and that actually. How did we go from hurting wieners from LARPing? That's what I want to know. I know we shuffle it up, but we just.
It was a journey.
All right, so we're back on track. This is why our numbers are down, is because of all the wiener talk. If we had a consultant come in and just say, what is our problem with our show? Well, you guys can't stay on topic is the problem.
Let's talk for 3 minutes. Next thing you know, it's dick punches.
Yeah, you guys are like little kids. Anyways, LARPing.
Is it something that you'd want to try, George? If it wasn't so,
if the stigma wasn't there.
Not the stigma, but if the people weren't as crazy, if they talked normal beforehand and just waited for the battle to get all in character. Doesn't that sound kind of fun?
Yes, and that's why I'm saying a war style LARPing would be down my alley, because I don't have a problem going cover my six, and stuff like that, because I don't have to talk about dragons and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why I don't want to do paintball, is because I know there's going to be some guys there that want to be in the military, and they're going to be
is. I've taken my son a few times, and
they're going to be
been really
Private Woody. What's that?
They've always been really good with him. But
Yeah.
when you're listening to them talk, like I'm always just sitting there. I never play, and I'm listening to them talk, like overhearing their conversations, and they're all talking like they're in military training. I mean,
Yeah, that's my big
paintball
problem.
course, dude.
Yeah, they're going to be like, Private Woody, I need you to flank to the right, and then blah, 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 blah. And I would just shoot him with the paintball at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm going to do what I want to do. I paid $20 to do this. I'm going to have fun, not be ordered around.
Well, but there has to be some strategy basis to the game, or else you're kind of just the lone wolf.
Look at what we did with the laser tag when it was adults versus children. We didn't go, okay, here's our strategy. It was run around and shoot the kids.
And it was also, George, stop shooting me.
Yeah,
because I shot a lot of adults,
yeah.
and that's why I was so high up on the leaderboard.
I absolutely understand when everybody there is taller than you. They all look like adults. But,
even the children?
Yeah, even the children.
That's a good point.
I'm like, everybody's 5'8" or bigger, and very big children. It's the steroids that they put in the food. Yeah, just big, cock-strong, Midwestern kids, you know? No, so don't go with the cock-strong. That took it in a weird thing. Okay, so like LARPing. Let's talk about the history of LARPing. Do you guys foresee it becoming more prevalent in the future, or is it going to taper off type stuff?
I don't know. I think it'll just. I think it's here. I think it's going to stick around for a while.
I think it's going to stay.
I don't see it getting bigger. You know, the fact that there's girls doing it means that it probably won't ever go away.
Yeah, because kind of like on that not Android. Which one is that? The Pandora, the Avatar, where the girl was talking, like she's like, "Oh, they're all strong. They're just full of muscles," and it shows that fat guy
down to her chest.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I guess like I can see the attraction to part of the medieval LARPing for like. There's women that LARP in it because they like being called fair maidens, and they, they're treated.
I mean, some of them are just, like rangers and knights and things like that. I mean, you don't have to be. You can do whatever you want. I think that's what the real, attraction is. It's like you can make yourself into something that you're not normally.
I would do the cowboy LARPing, and I would be like, oh, look, an opium den. And that'd be me. I'd just be smoking opium for like 2 hours of the LARP fest, and then just come out just seeing red, and just walk out and bang, 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 and just start shooting people. That would be my thing. Or like I'd be at the cat house and maybe shooting whiskey for about 2 hours, and pass out. And all of a sudden, one thing leads to another. Bada boom, bada bing. I'm out in the street fighting, with the bang, 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 bang type stuff.
No pants on, just shooting.
None.
Right.
Just shooting.
Obviously,
I did.
No pants on.
Right.
I gotta have a derringer attached to my nether regions, so I could be like bang, bang, like I could hump like the air, like in every thrust forward it would shoot, or a whip. I don't know.
I would not want a whip if I didn't have pants on. That seems really dangerous.
That's why you got to be the whip master.
Well, with LARPing, like some of the groups, it's always like there's a dominant person, almost like the general or I don't know. What are some other...
The toughest nerd in the group?
Are you talking about the game master? I mean, because there's like referees that they call them game masters. That
no,
go
not
on
the
to make
referees.
sure people are...
Not referees, but I mean like the head of your group kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And they
okay.
boss everyone around. And it's like, the whole point of LARPing is almost like so they can come out and I know they're being somebody else, but it's also, you can kind of be yourself. It's like kind of a no bully situation, but then you get the people in there that walk all over everybody, so it kind of defeats the purpose of the whole thing. You get people in there like, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. It's that and... It would be, if you had a box cutter and stuff.
I run this show.
They're all like senior citizens in his kingdom.
That's my LARPing.
Helen, you flank to the right. Gertis,
I can't.
You flank to the left.
My chair's stuck on a tree root. well, you're dead, Helen. And then you could basically, like, quote unquote, put them out of their misery. And, it's take them to the sweet goodbyes or something. I don't know.
Oh, man.
I love it.
Well, we got anything else about LARPing
one other
we
thing
want to talk about?
Not so much LARPing, but back to that paintball thing. My niece sent me a message the other day, and she's like, hey, we're going to do that zombie paintball haunted house thing.
Yes.
And she's like, you want to go? And I was like, sure. So we did that Friday night. So it basically, you're sitting in like a hay wagon, okay? And there's a gun, and it's like on a swivel and that. And you get 100 paintballs, okay? And they don't tell you how many scenes there are or how many zombies there are or whatever. But there's 10 scenes. Halfway through the thing, you can buy more paintballs.
Oh.
So, but it's like $10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, my niece and her boyfriend, after the first 2 scenes, they were out of paintballs. Completely out, because they just unloaded their guns.
Were they live people or targets?
They were live people, and they just covered in like they're wearing probably 20 layers.
All right, here's what we do. This is my idea. All 3 of us, maybe even JD. Let's get like 6 of us. Okay. Do you always start with 100, or can you start with 1,000?
No, you have to start with 100.
Okay, let's start with 100. Let's get 6 of us.
Okay.
Let's go in. And the very first actor we see, we all unload 100 on him. All of them.
Here's the
thing.
thing.
600 hits in like 30 seconds.
Here's the thing.
I like it.
That's almost what happens. There's 8 people in the first wagon and 8 people in the second wagon, right? They pull up to the scene, and there's one zombie. And he comes out, and it's just everybody is shooting at that one zombie. So you have to figure, and everybody, the first one's probably going through 10 to 15 paintballs.
Okay.
So that's like 800 paintballs.
New idea. Because
What's that?
clearly the first guys are the ones decked out that love getting hit.
They're
Yeah.
all
the padding.
We got to find the zombie in a sweatshirt. Just a sweatshirt.
We wait until near the end when almost nobody has many left.
Yeah.
And then we all unload our 600 at once, right at their head.
I don't
the
think they would
shirtless
feel
zombie.
it. I really don't. Like their head, it's almost like a football helmet size on thing that they put on their head, and it completely covers their head.
Okay, then let's think of an area. All
Like,
of us focus on like the left hand
Yeah.
and just unload 600 on their left hand.
You're a sadistic bastard. You know that?
I really am.
Yeah, I think they're
Thank you,
so
George.
padded up that there's nothing you could do to them.
Well, that takes the fun out of it. How about one of us jumps off the cart, rips a piece of his equipment off, and then whichever part is exposed, we just go crazy on.
How about we
I'm
tell one of us to jump off the cart and then we shoot him?
That's a good idea too.
Well, it can't be one of us 3 because,
Right.
well, if I hit the opium den before we do that, you guys could probably get me to do it.
That's a
So,
good point. Yeah, now that we talked about it, I'm not jumping off.
Right. So, okay, guys. If there's any LARPers out there that want to tell us what we got wrong today,
That are still listening.
yeah, you can go to theshufflepod.com. You can email us there. You can get on our Twitter page, our Facebook, or Instagram. And if you would like to contribute to the show, there's a button on there that says support the show. It'll take you right to our Patreon page. And anything else, guys?
What is that?
Yeah, I
Down to about
actually-
a quarter a show, right?
That's right.
Hell of a deal.
last week, I had the pleasure of going on the podcast. This song fucking sucks. And that episode should be, I believe, the first week of November. It'll be airing, and we actually talked about a Jacob Sartorius song.
I can't wait to hear.
It was so much fun. I'm actually going to quit our podcast to join his, it was a lot of fun. So check it out. The podcast. This song fucking sucks, and I think you guys will like it.
Maybe you could do
And
another
yeah,
spot and you could review the Dick Bullet song.
Well, that song doesn't suck.
That's a good
That's
point.
the thing.
That's a good point.
We could maybe do the podcast. This song is wow awesome, and we could do like we could review the entire Dick Bullets EP that's going to be upcoming by July 4th of next year, and we're going to back it up with a world tour. And by world, we mean we're going to play a couple bars around in the area.
Yeah.
And
By world, you mean Brisbane's? Or Buzzbin, or whatever the hell the name of the place
that's
is?
it, Buzzbin. Just Buzzbin. And we'll play with that Andy guy that dresses up. He's I can't remember his last name, but he puts on a pretty good show.
Does he LARP?
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's like Party Andy or something like that. And he does some crazy songs. But yeah, so yeah, check it out. This song fucking sucks. I was on, and look for the Jacob Sartorius episode. And yeah, so I got to cut a nice promo spot for it coming up here after the show. Send it to him. And but phenomenal. Great show. Good dude running the thing, so.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah. It was cool that someone reached out and asked if one of us would be interested. So
Not me though. They didn't ask me.
They know the talent. So I'm just saying.
They know what
Dick Bullets for life. All right, boys. That was fun. Until next week. Adios.
See ya.
Later.
All that boy can play. DJ blowing that harp all night and all day. Out on the plains, out on the train. I don't need no guitar, that boy plays insane. That's just a taste, that's enough. All right.